Sailor. This is Corey, and this is the Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Welcome to episode 237 of the O The Anthem podcast. It is 7:40 p.m. Pacific. That makes it early, 10:40 p.m. Eastern.
I know, it's still the same day over there.
Woo! O The Anthem is live from coast to coast, broadcasting from the hashtag OTA LA studios, high above the One Dam Freeway in the beautiful downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for listening to us on Spotify. People are doing that.
Woo!
Thank you for downloading on your podcatcher of choice and rating and reviewing and telling people and throwing bricks through the windows of haberdasheries. We appreciate all of it.
And, of course, you can find more O The Anthem on Instagram and Twitter at O The Anthem. If you're watching us live right now, you're doing so on Facebook.com/O The Anthem, where we do broadcast every single episode on the live stream. You can also find the video at YouTube.com/O The Anthem. And if you're listening to this, or if you're listening live, or if you're listening later in the week, make sure you give us a call, let us know, or send a text. Let us know what you think. 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
It's 443-219-7595.
Yes. So exciting weekend.
Yeah, bit of a weekend. I was gonna say, actually, just to spice things up, let's do the old. Let's change things up in the background here.
Ooh,
Hey,
look at that. That's where we were.
People may not recognize that, though. You know what I realized we prominently put in the middle of the frame?
Yeah, I tried to. There's not much I can do about that. But that's. We'll just. Yeah, there we go. We fixed.
There we go.
Now we just got to hold our hands like that for the rest of the
entire show. I did not realize, much like all of America, it snuck up on us until it was live on television.
I should have just like photoshopped like a little like dump or something like that on there.
So yeah, you all may or may not recognize what's behind us. Corey, tell the folks at home what's behind us.
It's a fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City.
Oh, wait, back. Yes, and. There we go. All right, yes. If you're not watching the live video on Facebook.com/O The Anthem, you're missing out on half of the show here. Obviously, we have what's going on in the background. Let's shift around here a little bit. So you can see the mall.
Yeah, right there.
Which, by the way, prime real estate on the Strip, taken up by a mall. Thank you, America.
And then up here is obviously the...
How do weathermen do this?
They get used to it. Well, they also don't have two separate cameras trying to like...
Cold front. Got a cold front moving in from the east here.
We got Treasure Island right here. We got some douchebag's place right here.
That's Trump
I like how there was
right
a double finger thing.
Give him a double finger. There it is. All right, yeah, so that's Trump Tower right there. Trump International, which is, by the way, not a casino. Why?
Because Nevada wouldn't give untrustworthy people gaming licenses. Yet we allow him to become president.
Found Trump to be untrustworthy. But yeah, that's Treasure Island behind Corey over there. You also see Senor Frogs on the Strip. Oh, this is the...
I had no idea what Senor Frogs was, by the way.
You have no idea what Senor...
Well, I mean, like, I knew about it because, like, I used to see kids, like, wear T-shirts that say Senor Frogs, but I never knew, like, it was a bar. I didn't know what it was.
It's like...
Just like I still don't know what MR Ducks is.
MR Ducks is a brand of clothing that now has a bar in Ocean City.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that a Maryland only thing? Or
I don't think... The bar is a Maryland only thing. The brand, though, is like an East Coast duck hunters thing.
It seemed like it was clothing, but I didn't know. I didn't know if it was like a sanctioning body of duck hunting or something like
clothing
that.
Line only. But Senor Frogs is a bar that you'll find in ports all across the world. So like
it seems like
resorts.
it's in like party places too.
So like San Juan, Puerto Rico, you'll find one right off where the ships pull up. Same thing in Dominican Republic. Same thing in probably not Cuba actually. Virgin Islands. Miami has one. I don't know if it's near the docks because Miami's a port of call. It's not a port of call. It's a port of beginning and ending. You know what I mean? Like you don't go there to party. You go there for sadness when the trip's over. But you also find them in Cancun and any really party place. But yeah, there's one on the Strip as well. Yeah. And there's also the two famous Treasure Island ships, which sadly we found out don't do the Treasure Island show anymore.
Yeah.
Haven't for a while.
We didn't actually get a chance to watch we didn't watch the Bellagio fountain at any point.
No.
We didn't.
Mirage? We were right across the street from Mirage. But
I told Roberto too. I was like, I'm going to get you to the end of the Strip just because I feel like we're going to live on the north side of the Strip all weekend long.
And we did.
Yeah.
We did. Actually, you know what? That's what I was doing before. I wanted to give them an unencumbered view. Oh, mother. There we are. This is the video that's running behind us right now. So you can get an unencumbered view. This is from the 20th floor of the Palazzo.
Yeah.
Where we had a wonderful, wonderful time this weekend. It was okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say the Palazzo is the reason we had.
No. Palazzo is not. We had a wonderful time. We happened to be staying at the Palazzo.
Yeah.
So that's it. But generally speaking, other than the hotel, we had a. Oh, you can see the pools here too. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Everything you can see. But Treasure Island there, Mirage would be just to your left off screen here. Encore and Wynn would be just off to the right on screen.
And then like Circus, Stratosphere, that sort of thing.
Off to the right as well. Yep. Venetian, not seen here, is just to the left part of the complex of the hotel that we're staying at. So,
right.
Yeah. All good things. But yeah, so generally, had a good weekend.
Well, we're back in LA.
Oh, sorry, wait. Let's go back to Vegas here while we're talking about it. Had a good weekend.
I wish it was that easy.
I know, right?
Go back to Vegas. Boop.
Not a miserable 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. Oh, what do I have going on here? I got some pop-ups happening on my computer. Sorry if you guys heard the bloop. There we go. So tell us about the weekend, Corey.
Well, we have a childhood friend of Rachel's visiting. Rachel first met Lauren when she was 3 days old.
Yeah. How old was Rachel when that happened? 15 years old.
Was she 15? No. I was going to say, that's not right. I was going to say it's like
10.
No. 8. She's
23.
Oh, okay. So 10. Yeah.
I don't know why you doubt me.
I mean, technically 11, I guess.
I did the math.
But she's come out to LA before, but she never went to Vegas. So
right. Yeah.
We decided, hey, Vegas is a short drive away. Let's go to Vegas. And we also brought Roberto along with us because he's never been to Vegas.
Friend of the show, Roberto. I can't believe he's not been to Vegas.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And had a great time.
We saw the Cirque du Soleil Beatles Love at Mirage. Again, just off screen there to your left. You just barely can't see it. I've seen Cirque du Soleil before. Not a fan of Cirque du Soleil, generally speaking. This one I was actually more of a fan of because I could at least get into the music.
Yeah.
I'm not really big on the acrobatics and all that stuff. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, fantastic number. For some reason, that one just like the one dude with the balancing wheel, he got me.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I'm not big on Cirque du Soleil. So.
I had never seen a Cirque du Soleil show before.
Okay.
And I was hoping going in that it would like everything I'd ever been told about it was that it was like, amazing circus stunts, but done in like a modern, cool way.
Yeah.
And this seemed more like just people dancing than like circus things.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like, a bit of circusy kind of things going on.
Lucy with the wheel, that thing.
Yeah. And there was like the jumping back and forth between the trampolines and stuff like that. But nothing where I went like, oh, I don't know somebody who could do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to put myself in the ultimate Beastmaster position of saying I'll do all that stuff. But I'm saying, I'm not a classically trained dancer or anything. But I imagine there's somebody I know who, if they needed to go in and do that show, they could.
Yeah.
At least in like a good 90% of the roles.
And by the way, roles used very loosely. I was trying to figure out what the storyline was. Like, I figured there has to be some kind of arc that I've missed the beginning of. So, spoiler, you walked in right as it was starting?
I think we were like a minute or two late.
Yes.
So we probably missed like the first number or two, maybe. I couldn't think of any song that I wanted to hear that I didn't hear. I think that was the main.
Yeah.
That was how I was judging.
So we walked in about 25 minutes after that. And I said to myself, I think the dude with the flowers is the protagonist. I think that he has an aide or a helper, which is the guy who is in like the Asian dress or the Asian like pantsuit. And then the guy who is the Kaiser who keeps like showing up with his like little top hat, that's got to be the antagonist. And I was trying to explain like, listen, there's got to be a story here somewhere. And I was like, we must have missed the pivotal scene that these two were put juxtaposed to each other at the beginning. And then afterward, we were speaking about it, and you said, no, in fact, there was no storyline whatsoever.
There's no story. I would have actually kind of preferred more of a rather than if the Beatles were going to do a live Vegas show, I would have preferred it not be Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
And maybe something more along the lines of like Across the Universe. If you could do like an Across the Universe stage show or something like that, that would have been really cool, I think.
Well, and that's what people were talking about is that Across the Universe was such a good movie. And this kind of gave you the feeling of that a little bit, but without the like continuity of a story going through it.
Well, also in the fact that Across the Universe had like reinterpretations of Beatles songs.
True. Yes.
As this was just basically a DJ playing Beatles song after Beatles song, just as you've heard it before.
Yes.
And there was like a little bit of like, like back or like outtakes from recording studios that like made it onto the stage from time to time.
Yeah.
But like nothing. It was basically just playing the songs over and over again.
But the songs were just the performances. They were like, all right, so we have a song called Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Yeah.
And this song is about a girl and how beautiful she is and how can we make some kind of scene about that. This scene, completely unconnected to the scene that happened before it.
Right.
And the scene that happened after it, while in itself was very nice and like I said, I was very impressed by it. I would have preferred. I thought the dude with the flowers was on some kind of journey to find love, and that the Kaiser guy was the antagonist.
You had a similar thing to me, but I think I just got out of it quicker.
Maybe.
Which is just like I when I first got there, I was like, all right, who are all these people and what are they doing?
Yes.
And then like as soon as all of them left and new people came in, I'm just like, maybe there's not a point to this all. Like,
yeah. Well, and again, I think
and
I
then
missed.
once like I got to like through 2 or 3 songs where like nobody was the same, I'm just like, there's no main character, there's no anything, there's no story. It's just dancing to Beatles songs.
Well, so like I think I walked.
And I mean, like I really enjoyed the visual aspects of it, like the projections and the screens and like what they were doing with curtains and like the stage going up and down and stuff like that. All that was great.
The girl who danced with the laser dancer on the curtain, like I don't know how you practice that enough because she can't see the dude in the curtain.
Yeah.
She's got to just be dancing and just know that like, I got to hit this spot and then I hit this spot, and hit that spot.
What it really is just incredible timing. Like the thing is like, I could never do like the floss, like the little backpack dance.
Yeah.
But I know some kids who can do that really well, but then where the rubber meets the road is being able to do it on like exactly at the right moment.
Yeah.
So you have to like have it like timed like perfectly correctly so you're hitting like the beats and stuff. And I don't know how
some people do that.
Yeah, like it's beyond me. It's just like drummers. Like when I hear somebody with like a super intricate drum solo, I'm just like, they're keeping the beat and making sure they're hitting all these things at like the right exact moment. They're never late.
Yep.
They're all right on time. I'm just like, I don't even understand how you could be so good at that. Like how Travis Barker can be like a god amongst drummers.
And keep time, somehow staying on beat, and then improvise in between like every fifth measure. I'm just going to throw in some extra stuff and then get right back on beat. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, if I lost it, I'd just be for the rest of the show just like 2 beats behind.
I'm just improvising the rest of the show. Go on, guys. We got this. Go into the next verse.
We base what we do off of you fuck.
Sorry, guys. Were you fast or were you slow? Were you fast? All right. Anyway, so Cirque du Soleil. Saturday, we sat in the room all day.
Well, we slept for the first.
To be fair, yes. By the way, going when you're 30, I think that we probably went to bed at 6 a.m., got up at 10 or 11 o'clock, like pushed through.
Yeah.
4 years later, no.
Well,
went to bed at 3.
Still going to bed at like 3 or 4, but
yeah, not 6 though, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
getting up at
1.
And if we didn't have to check out at 1 the next day, we probably would have slept till 1 again. It was like, it's all right. We're having fun here, guys. We're not really in a rush. What are we doing? And we went to zip lining, which Corey refused to do.
I didn't refuse. I just preferred not to.
We went ziplining at the Rio Hotel, 500 feet above the ground, which was the part that I think Corey was more worried about.
No, honestly, me and Roberto were kind of simpatico on this point. He was a little bit stronger about it than I was, but like I just didn't really see the point. Like it just doesn't seem.
It scares you, and it's something to do something that scares you.
Yeah, I like coasters and stuff like that. I don't need the zip line. Like The idea, what's fun to me about the coaster is that like it gives you all the different, you get to go up and down and around and the loop-de-loops and hanging over the strip and everything like that.
Yeah, we should have gone on the coaster.
Yeah, but I mean like that to me I understand. That's the terror that I get. The like we're just gonna go straight across the zip line doesn't like.
You have no idea. No idea.
And then back.
You're barely strapped in and you're like not even above the strip. You're just like looking down at concrete and you're like, this would not be good. There is no scenario in which I survive this fall. And then you hit the other side and that was terrifying. And then you go backward and I felt the entire time I was like slipping out of my seat and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm going to die on this goddamn zip line.
Have you ever been on a roller coaster where you felt like a lock come loose or something like that?
Yeah, I have been on Wild. Do you remember Wild World?
Yeah.
Or no, Adventure
World?
Adventure World.
Was it the Mind Eraser?
It wasn't the Mind Eraser. It was the thing that used to be there that they don't have anymore. But like right around the second twist, I felt the shoulder snap thing go clunk and come out like an extra, like it wasn't totally locked in. And then I was just holding it for dear life, like gripping onto the thing with my thighs. Yeah. And like, all right, if this goes wrong, I think I can hold on to myself. I think I just hold on to this.
I did the same thing on the Mind Eraser. It was like the 4th or 5th time that I had ridden it, like not in the day, but like in my lifetime. And I was like so excited to get on the Mind Eraser. And then like, it was like we were pulling out of the station and like the second that it moved, I was just like, clunk. And I'm like, but like, you can't do that thing of like, I don't want to like,
don't test it. Yeah. Don't test it.
And like I'm trying to just pull it down, but like I'm not hearing any like.
Give me the click.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they like lock it after they like push it down, and then they do like the bolt to like lock it.
Yeah.
And then I was like post lock, so I couldn't like click it in any further. And then I was doing the thing where it's like holding on to the like I was grabbing the opposite. Like,
I can hold on to this. I can hold my body.
So hopefully, if this flies up, I can just keep it like against my chest, like maximize the amount of space that I have on the thing.
Yes.
And then I was also like fruitlessly because there was nothing to like grab onto.
It's got that bicycle seat, right?
Well, no, but like it didn't have. It was your legs were just hanging.
Oh, okay.
But like I was hoping that there was some sort of like pole I could like grip my feet onto. So I'm like you can't see this because it's below the video, but I got my feet like searching desperately underneath the chair behind me, like looking for something to just sort of like cross around just to like.
That's good though. That's what the roller coaster should be every time. Like I've convinced myself how safe they are. But if every time you rode a roller coaster, like all of a sudden you hear like the clink, that terror every single time. It's like, oh my God, I might actually die.
You know what they should do? They should come up with a coaster that has like a 2-step entry process kind of thing. Like, you get onto the coaster and you like work your way through the row until you're in the seats. And then they put down the things and they lock it and everything like that. And they go around and make sure everyone's thing is secure. Yeah.
Go.
I would like it if they did all those theatrics, and then all of a sudden, all of them just shot up. Like there was like a broken spring, and then all of a sudden you just start moving forward. You watch like a whole bunch of people go like, "Oh my God, everything's go wrong!" And then you just get like the 10 feet ahead, and there's another guy who's like, just kidding with you guys. Just like,
click.
I'm gonna do it again.
The first time I rode that, it would be the best roller coaster I ever rode. Now, how many times are people going to like throw up or shit themselves?
It's like a Banksy installation on a roller coaster.
Yes, that was an idea of Corey Baker. He's a renowned artist. If we'd like you to leave your underwear over here as part of his art installation, it's going to be a semi-permanent here. So if anybody needs any clean drawers, we have those available.
Selling in the gift shop for $50. So it's like, well, I wasn't going to spend $50 on some underwear, but I just shit myself.
See why they're up there. So we were at MGM Grand, which, by the way, and
I love nothing more if the underwear just said like, I shit myself on Corey's Magic Roller Coaster.
But
you gotta buy the matching pants. Like,
yes,
just make them like hammer pants. Just have me, like,
so everybody knows.
You can tell the people who shit their pants on my ride.
We went to the
I've
MGM
also
Grand.
thought another. One other one that I had teased that I had thought about before was I think that there's a tragic misuse of scent on roller coasters.
Okay.
Because I feel like if like right before you were ready to take off, you smelled like smoke or fire.
Yeah.
Like you'd just be like, something.
Did you?
You're like, no. Wait, alert somebody.
Hey,
like,
do you smell?
Because like when I used to drive by like the Point in Baltimore, like as I was driving down 95, it smells like a burnt clutch.
Yeah, it
like
does.
the iron smelting smells like a burnt
Yeah.
clutch. So anytime I would drive by, I'm just like, God, please don't be my clutch burn. Please don't have me be like halfway into a gear and I'm just burning clutch this whole time and I'm just like, no, it's fine. It's just iron smelt. Like
See,
anytime I smell something like that, I'm just like, I usually shift out of gear and then like really step on the clutch and then
push it back in.
push it in, but like make sure like I get it like all the way.
Yeah. All right, so you're recommending that we use the scent of electrical fire on a ride just before, like give a little right above you just before you come in. You're like, do you smell that? Does it smell like something?
Or maybe just have like smoke emanating from the front of it.
Like, guys, do you see this? What's going on here? No, you're good. You're good.
Just get the guy to be like, not my problem.
Yeah. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm not the smoke checker guy. I'm the seat checker guy. We're good. Go ahead. Anyway, so going back to the $50 underwear.
Yes.
Which is my point. We went to the MGM Grand on our way out of Vegas and saw that the Jabberwockies have for sale the white faces that they wear, which I imagine in their first performance they got at a costume store for, I don't know, $4 or $5 a piece. And they're now selling them for $40 a piece because they're official Jabberwockies faceplate. And Roberto said, hey, why don't we go get one of those? And I said, or on the way home, you can stop at literally any costume store because it's October or you get a white face.
Or you could just go to like Michael's and pick one up for, I'm sure, like $2.
I feel like they'd be more at Michael's. Michael's got a markup too.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, so we've also decided that all jokes aside, we are going to start staying mid-strip because we walk down to Planet Hollywood every single time we're in Vegas. Literally, like both days. Both days we walked down to Planet Hollywood.
I really want to. I want to stay there at some point. It's like the only place I haven't stayed.
Yep.
And I also really want to stay at the Cosmo. I think that's high on my list of like.
I don't know where Cosmo is.
It's right across the street from Planet Hollywood.
Oh, is it set back from the strip a little bit? I mean, it's on the strip.
It's on the strip, but yeah, it's
Aria's
off the road a little
bit.
It's like kind of with the Aria's off the road too.
Oh, okay.
So it's like kind of, I don't know, it's like 100 yards off the strip.
Yeah.
But like the entrance, they have like the mall and stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah. That place, like the Louis Vuitton store. Yeah,
Yeah. All the high end shops.
That sounds like it's going to be a good use of time and energy. Yeah.
I like the idea of balconies in Vegas. I don't know why there's not more balcony
that's right. Yeah.
places.
Yeah. Oh, because people jump off of them.
Oh, yeah. Lose a lot of money and then jump off. That's right. I forgot.
That's what they do.
Maybe just solariums. Like
just glass?
Well, like little holes like where you can,
like a gerbil?
Yeah, like a gerbil.
Sure,
like
yeah. Why not?
Then nobody can get through it.
I feel like the camera is moving on us.
I think you're moving the desk,
is the
which
desk
might
moving?
be. Yeah.
I was trying to reposition myself, but I feel like the desk is moving. Are my mic syncing? I got like a lot of stuff going on.
There's many problems here.
Anyway,
switch to me for a second. I'll tell the people. I'll give the Vegas people a little idea. Something I would suggest you do, as opposed to going to
public transportation.
Well, besides going to Cirque du instead of going to Cirque du Soleil Love, I would suggest you go see Absinthe, which is a way more acrobatic circus-like show. And I enjoyed it a lot when I went last September to see it.
Oh, yes.
And I think that everybody... that's my favorite show I've seen in Vegas, even though I've only seen like 3 of them. So not a huge bar to conquer, but it's something. And I really enjoyed myself. So maybe check that one out.
I've only seen one show in Vegas. Love by the Beatles. That's the only one. I'm just not a huge like go to a show person. So.
Yeah, me either. I just don't. I don't know.
I would go all the time if somebody invited me. Yeah.
I think if I lived in Vegas and somebody's like, "Hey, I got free tickets to Penn and Teller," I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go."
Yeah.
But like if someone's like, "Hey, you want to pay $200 to see Penn and Teller?" I'm like, no.
Yeah, and
I'd pay $20 to go see Penn and Teller.
For our point of view, it's like we got there on Friday and we had to rush. It was like rush just to get there on time. So like, it's not really not really worth it.
Yeah, I was kind of in a bad mood getting in, so I was like, I wasn't in the mood to be entertained. It's not
5-hour drive,
Yeah.
rush to the room, get changed, rush out. It's not good. Anyway, but go to Vegas. Vegas is a lot of fun, and if you're young, especially, go to Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, please.
Don't wait till you're as old as us, and it's boring.
Go enjoy it while you can.
Yes.
But you can do the whole day.
So yeah, one last look. Wait, let's go out to give the people just a look at the city by itself. There it is, a shining city on a hill.
And by on a hill, you mean like in the middle of the valley?
Yeah, in the valley, a shining city in the valley. Anyway, so
just like Van Nuys.
Back to LA. You know what? No, we have another thing we can run right here, and. All right.
Sports ball.
Yes. So, a couple of big things happened over the weekend. Number one, Dodgers are in the World Series.
Yeah, and against the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yay.
Once again, proving that all major sports are fixed. The two teams who people really wanted are in the World Series. So, there you go.
Would you really have cared about like a Brewers World Series? Though?
I would have. Oh well, I wouldn't necessarily have cared, but the people at MLB would have cared that a small market team like Milwaukee.
Well, yeah. I mean, like
World
it's
Series.
the same thing we were talking about with the Stanley Cup last year, where it's just like they were doing anything they could to keep it from being Winnipeg, Tampa.
Yep. Because nobody was watching that. So
because if that happens, Gary Bettman has to do that like ritualistic suicide with like the knife or the sword in the stomach.
Yep. But luckily, hockey, like basketball, is just a 88-game season to try to eliminate the two worst teams that we knew at the very beginning. So, what are you going to do?
See ya, Clippers.
Well, Clippers are actually not bad, I think, right? Aren't the Clippers okay now?
No. Well, they're not supposed to be.
The Wizards are bad.
The Wizards probably will make the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how bad the NBA is. The Wizards are going to make the playoffs.
You're letting Washington into the playoffs?
Why are we even playing a season?
What's wrong with your league?
Anyway, but yeah, so LA and Boston. I think some people would have preferred New York, LA.
Yeah.
But as I argued to the people who were arguing about me saying that it's fixed, this is Boston's last year. We know that New York is building a murderer's row, a new murderer's row. And Manny Machado will be a part of that by next year.
Or Bryce Harper.
Or Bryce Harper. Or both.
Both, yeah.
It's not like money is an object. Yeah. It's not like they play the same position. We can get both.
They've been trying to be very cheap about how they do it for the last couple of years so that they don't go over the luxury tax threshold. Yeah. With this with this free agency season, they're going to go as far as they want to try and get as many stars as they can.
Yes.
Because they've been like kind of like when you're about to go to Faux de Chow.
Yes.
And you're just like, I'm only eating crackers today. I've put aside 5 crackers that I'm going to eat at breakfast and lunch and prepare myself for Faux de Chow.
Yeah, I don't want system.
Not only that, I'm going to Miralax myself at some point.
Just to clear it all
and do a rocking motion. 2 hours before Faux de Chow to prepare myself for the fact that I'm going there later.
I got insight into
the enema guy at 2.
The B12 guy at 3, right? You got to get the system up and ready.
Yeah. I'm going to bring in a snake to teach me how to detach my jaw.
Anyway, so
teach me your secrets, Slithery.
Anyway, so the major sports are rigged, and Boston will be in. By the way, another thing I said, it's basically major sports are basically becoming the WWE because did you notice that Manny went to Los Angeles just long enough to do the heel turn and then go to New York? Right? He's the baby boy. He's the face in Baltimore.
Yeah.
He goes to L.A., the dirty city, gives him the heel turn, and then he heads to the evil empire in New York.
See, I feel like people didn't have an opinion about Manny one way or the other because still there. He's still
there. We go.
I don't think people give a shit about Manny one way or the other when he was with the Orioles, just because it's like, do you give a shit that much about like Joey Votto? Like
no, but I think he had an image.
Yes, but I mean, like, I feel like people watched it and were just like, oh, let him be an Oriole. It's fine. Like, he can be a jerk and he's at the Orioles, so it's okay.
But he wasn't a jerk.
No, I'm not.
He
I'm
was
just
a
saying
face.
he was a jerk. I'm saying, like,
came to LA
nobody
for the heel turn.
Nobody was gonna hate him when he was with the lowly Orioles. Just like nobody hates you when you're with the Royals or something like that.
Right. But no, I mean, Moustakas, people did not like him.
After he got into like the World Series and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like when he was on a 60-win Royals team, nobody was just like, you know what I fucking hate? Mike Moustakas.
But again,
I hope Eric Hosmer gets hit by a truck. Like,
all I'm saying is I don't know a lot of other players because this is the player I followed. I just find it ironic that in the season where he's been moving around, he has made this trip to a new city. Then all of a sudden he becomes this guy who I don't recognize, and boom, he's going to go back to New York as the heel. To a city that loves the heel.
He's got a classic bad boy haircut.
Oh,
so.
and his haircut changed? Come on. We are watching theater play out. This is baseball theater.
I still remember when opening day came around and I saw Manning without a hat, and I'm just like, that's a choice. I was thinking about like, what if Rachel's like bugging me for like weeks to get a haircut, and then I come home like that, and I'm just like,
It's the Machado. Very popular.
Who decided to go with the Manny for the postseason?
You 100% should do that. And
come home tomorrow, like everything shaved off on the sides, just like straighten this part of the hair.
Not only should you do that and take pictures, you should record your interaction with the barber who you tried to explain that haircut to. But like, you know Manny, right? Manny Machado? That's what I want. I had the barber just give you that like get out thing, like, no.
Do you remember?
No.
Do you remember the Brian Regan Sprink Smidge donut joke?
No.
Okay, well, I would like to do a version of it for the barber.
All right, can I interrupt 1 second?
Yeah.
A majority of 30-year-olds are living with their parents still. Ma, did you read this? Sorry, that's also Brian Regan.
Like where you walk into the hair salon, it's like bing bong. It's
Yes.
like, what would you like? All right. I'd like to have a lot of hair on top, but I don't want to have any hair on the sides. And I want it to be really straight up here, but I want to look at really weird over here. Can you do something like that? It's like, yeah, it's called the lunatic haircut for lunatics. Here you go. Sit in the chair. We'll get you going. Like,
That's you?
well, I was just saying, did you see the joke with Brian Regan was like, I want a donut and I want frosting all over it, but I want sprinkles, but not all over it. You got anything like that? It's like, we sure do. Just push them all over to the side. It's called the Sprink Smidge for lunatics like you. That was the original joke.
Is Brian Regan a successful comedian?
Yeah.
Must be the delivery. I don't know what to tell you.
Not me.
Anyway, yeah, so the World Series.
Yeah.
Are you going to be going to a World Series game?
Probably not. I can't imagine. I mean, if somebody wants to like bestow me with tickets, again, it's the thing. Like, you know, if somebody says like, "Hey, I can't go to the game. You like baseball? Do you want to go?"
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
I want to go.
I'll sell them to you for face value even. Perfect. Not the 9,000% markup.
Well, even the face value might be a little rich for my money.
What's the face value of a playoff ticket in LA?
Well, I mean, like, remember when the Orioles were maybe going to the World Series and they were trying to pre-sell us the tickets, and it was like sitting like way up top in the 300s was like starting at like $550 or something like that a ticket.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. Again, maybe if it was the Orioles. If it was the Orioles and the Dodgers, and the Orioles were coming to Dodger
maybe
Stadium?
there's a chance, I guess, that maybe people are so tired of the winning that the cost of the tickets isn't that much.
Yeah,
as it would be elsewhere. Because
the scalping market has swallowed the tickets up, and then eventually, like, ticket prices fall.
I mean, I got an email from the Dodgers before Game 6.
Yeah,
the last one in LA, where they were just like, like get in the stadium for $24 or something like that. And I'm just like, that sounds like a hell of a deal. I couldn't go, but I mean, I was like, that sounds like a hell of a deal. And so maybe like people didn't buy Game 6 tickets because they thought maybe it wasn't going to get to that point.
Yeah.
Or like there were just like a ton extra, or maybe they made some available, or they were just trying to fill the stands with Dodger fans. So they were doing it last minute.
Yeah.
I don't know what the thought process was there, but I remember I got a cheap ticket offer for the NLCS. So maybe, I mean, you know, it just all depends on what it is. If somebody says $50 to get in the game for a World Series, yeah, I'll probably like that's a worthy buy to me.
Sure.
But like, if somebody
especially
says
because it's probably the only World Series game we'll see in our
well,
lifetime.
I mean,
So,
if somebody says like 500, I'm like, no, it's not. It's not worth it to me.
No.
I barely know your team.
Yeah, and
no Justin Turner, or no Manny Machado, no Clayton Kershaw, no Walker Buehler. Actually, I probably do know most of your team. Like, I'm just thinking about it now.
Well,
like, I could probably name 30 people or 20 people on the team.
Somebody, a team that we don't seem to know, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I know. It's not even the same anymore.
Their kicking team. What happened? Are you on the bandwagon? Can we fire Justin Tucker already?
No, absolutely not. And this is the thing. I haven't. I didn't
Baltimore,
get a chance.
you're the worst. You don't deserve sports. All right, some of you.
I really wish I had a chance to go like do a deep dive on like what the fan was like today, or what Ravens Twitter was doing during this whole thing.
I heard some discussion by Chad Dukes, who's in DC.
Yeah,
and his overall arching comment was, "This is why Baltimore doesn't have nice things, because one slip up, and some of you are turning on the guy."
Were there people turning on Tucker? Oh
who
my
have
God.
been like Now I'm sure it wasn't a majority. I'm sure it wasn't a lot.
It was probably like the same people who were just like, who needs to start Tyrod Taylor?
Yes. Most likely it was the same people. But like,
when he was like a rookie and had just gotten out of like Alcorn State or whatever.
Yes.
It's just like,
he's ready. He's ready for the NFL. I don't know why you'd argue that he's not.
Tyrod Taylor would run the ball a lot better than Joe Flacco.
Well, that's
just
true.
Like, well, why do you naturally assume he would run the ball better? Oh, I don't know. Because you're stupid.
But yeah, apparently,
I'm not from Dundalk.
Apparently, there was some sentiment amongst the citizens of Baltimore today that Justin Tucker had outlived his usefulness because he, on a game-ending drive, missed the PAT to lose the game for the team.
After 222 consecutive makes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why you don't deserve nice things.
Justin Tucker is allowed to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
Looked kind of injured.
Well, I mean,
after the first kick.
The first kick, it looked like he didn't have his foot planted right.
Yeah.
I've also heard that it was a very unusually windy day at M&T, and that the winds were like swirling and crosswindy and stuff like that.
And that last PAT did some wicked moving.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm not, I allow people to make mistakes. I don't want to sound like Justin Tucker has to be perfect always, but it has been nice in the past to not even have to necessarily like fret whether or not he makes a field goal or a PAT.
Yep.
The question I have, the one that I'm worried about is Justin Tucker the type of guy who has succeeded so far as he has because he has a continued level of success, like he never fails? And now that he's failed on a big stage, is he going to be broken?
Right. Does it
like Cundiff? Like when Cundiff missed that one kick in the Patriots, he had a wonderful season, and then he missed the one kick, and then all of a sudden it looked like he was a completely different person.
He just
like
couldn't
a
get it
shell
back
of
together.
himself.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tucker's like that. He seems like he's a little bit more level-headed than Cundiff was.
He sings opera.
Yeah, I think that he had a bad day, and maybe this will make him even better.
Yes.
If you can believe it. Like,
and I mean, honestly, I don't blame the guy for. I mean, yes, everybody's allowed to have a bad day, and the offense, you should not have put him in that position where that's what it's required. I mean, because by the way, it wouldn't have won the game.
Yeah,
it would have tied the game.
Well, the other thing too is I keep thinking like I wasn't overly confident that the Ravens are going to win today.
Yes.
Or win on Sunday, but if they had lost by a touchdown, people would be complaining about like, oh, the defense didn't do their job, or Joe wasn't good, or why can't we start Lamar Jackson, and he'd run so much better than Joe. And it's like, well, why do you think that opinion? It's like, shut up, I'm not from Dundalk, I'm not racist. Click.
Right. Yeah.
That's my favorite fan argument too, by the way. Whenever they just call up with like the like racist thing, it's like
the subdued racism.
Yeah,
yes.
But they're doing that like I know Lamar Jackson's decision making skills aren't as good, but at least he'd be a better athlete. It's just like, why do you think that his decision making skills aren't good? It's just like, I'm not saying anything about anything. I don't know why you're reading into that comment.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't live on Halbert Avenue.
Halbert Avenue. So I guess we'll have to see if it turns around. We didn't watch all of the game.
No, hardly any of it.
It was hard. It's hard to catch a game in Vegas. Harder than you would think. Like,
well, no, it's easy to catch the game. It's just like I have to, there's not like a sports bar as much as like you go to a sports book. and then you're standing against the wall because you don't want to take up seats of people who are actually gambling
and betting on multiple things that are going on. And by the way, I thought the game was at 9, and then we overslept until 10, and turns out the game was at 1:25, and it was a whole thing. But
also, fuck you, NFL, for having a London game at 6:30 in the morning. Can we please just have this be like a late afternoon game make it a night game in London.
Yes.
And have it be a late afternoon game for like the East Coast and like a 1 o'clock game for the West Coast.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to worry about whether Melvin Gordon, who's a late add to the injury report, is going to play because I'm not going to be up at 6:30 in the morning on the West Coast time. I don't think there is a 6:30 in the morning on the West Coast.
There is.
Have you seen it?
I've been up to that point. I've been up at that time. So I just wanted to bring up one quick fantasy football stat.
Oh, God.
I told you that I wanted to. What was my goal for this week?
100.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Let me tell you. I want your raw reaction.
I've seen it already.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
All right. What was my winning ratio right now this week?
It's like 140 or something like that.
195 to 56. I nearly broke 200 points. Nearly.
Yeah. I lost this week because
the gods hate you.
Everything went wrong. My running backs are in disarray. I thought it was funny. Like when I got into the draft, and I'm just like, and this is the thing. Rob hasn't had, much like Justin Tucker, he hasn't felt hurt yet. He hasn't failed on a massive scale with his team, so he's just cocky. He just like, you're like, oh, Adam Thielen's gonna score 35 points every single week.
Number 1 receiver in the NFL. I reached for him 2 rounds early, and I don't regret it at all. Number 1 receiver in the NFL.
But I'm saying, like, I have Melvin Gordon and Dalvin Cook to start the season as my 1 and 2.
Yep.
And Melvin Gordon has been wonderful for me, other than this week where he couldn't play. Dalvin Cook has been a little bit less because he has been hurt, so I haven't been playing him. But then I lucked into the fact that I had a late round pick on Sonny Michel.
Yeah.
Who just took over the Patriots running game. It was him and James White all by themselves.
Killing me with James White. Taking my James White.
But they were both they scored. They both scored like 30 points in one of those games.
Yep. Yeah.
So there was a place where they could both coexist, and then I don't know. I think he lost his knee. I think his knee literally shot out of his body, and now he's probably not going to be back for the rest of the season. So now I got to deal with Wendell Smallwood and the Philadelphia Eagles as like a prayer and hope that that manages to hold for a little while until some people get healthy. But like your team hasn't had injuries. Your team hasn't had any kind of like. You have George Kittle up front and another amazing tight end behind. Yeah, Howard behind.
Yeah.
And
all I'm going to say is
sometimes the luck finds you. Like at the Lord of the Ring machine. Sometimes the luck finds you. And sometimes it just falls away.
So I'm still tied for first in our league at 6-0. Do you want to take a guess at the points for difference right now?
The point score difference?
0.4 difference, yeah.
Oh, you're like 100 up or something, right?
130, 40, 150. 150 up.
Okay.
The points for total, I'm still up by 120 over the next closest team.
Yeah.
And I'm not in first place I'm way down on the points against. But I hate the idea of the points against because, like, I have no control over that whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's just about people who have good or bad weeks with you. And Maggie's killing.
But I mean, like, it's nice to look at, like, in terms of if I think John had like a weird points against thing for him. So like he was 2-3 or something like that going into this matchup with me. But I noticed on the standings chart that he had scored less points than his opponent, but his opponents were like putting up humongous points against him.
Yes. So
maybe he was scoring enough to win normally. But he was just running into a buzzsaw of like Rob putting up 190, and then you're like, what are you supposed to do about that? Like, there's nothing.
Yeah. So John has scored just under the number of points for and against, and that just sounds like bad luck. That's like you're losing by 10 points,
every week. Yeah,
not good. Anyway, so that's a fantasy football wrap up for the Posse League. I'm not going to go into my other league because
I didn't have my fingers in the draft on that one.
Honestly, I keep going back to that. Like all the shit talk that's happening in that chat. And I want to keep saying like, I didn't choose this team.
Yeah.
And there's 14 or 12 teams in this league. Nobody's left.
By the way, I want to bring up something, a draft idea that I heard about that I think would be fun for the Posse League. And we might do this separately from the sanctioned league.
Okay.
But it's called a vampire league. All right?
All right.
You start with, we have 14 teams.
Yes.
13 teams draft.
Okay.
So say you're the vampire. You take the day off.
Okay.
Everyone else drafts teams.
And I get to take players
from
your team?
You get to pick all the players you want from free agency.
Okay.
To fill out your roster. And then if you beat a team, you get to select one player off their roster. So if you play me week 1 and you beat me somehow with your ragtag group, then you could take Melvin Gordon from me and put him on your team.
That is a tall
and then
order
the
in
idea,
a 14 team.
The idea being that at the end of it all, if you win enough games, you're getting the 5 best players in the league and just becoming a juggernaut. That can be stuff. You have like a girly Melvin Gordon lineup.
And that's the thing is like that's manager skill. That's a manager skill thing. But I would play that in an 8-team league, but not a 14-team league.
Right.
Because there's not enough talent left at the end of a 13-team draft for you to put together any kind of good team.
Oh, yeah. You would have Nick Chubb as a running back.
I mean, I might have Adam
Allen
Thielen.
Or something like that.
Might still have Adam Thielen because none of you all have faith in Adam Thielen.
Well, he would have gotten drafted eventually.
He probably would have.
I would have taken him.
He was like 140th.
I would have taken him shortly after you if you hadn't taken him.
I mean, I didn't reach that far for him. He was like 140th. So how many 14-team league?
So 10th round?
10th round. Yeah. So I guess falling in there somewhere.
Anyway, that's sports ball.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. That's sports ball. All right, so
you've had your Vegas, you've had your sports. Now it's time for us to come crashing down on you.
Except for it's 51 minutes in, so bit of a long, and I have to go pick up Catered Fit because I'm starting not meal planning. What are you prepared meal delivery?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Meal prep.
It's not meal prep because that's when you do it. And I'm too lazy for that. It's just prepared meal delivery.
Meal kit delivery service.
No, because meal kit is where you cook it. I'm also too lazy for that. They just bring me the food. It's already ready. And
is
I
it
just
like
have
Meals on Wheels?
Basically, yeah. I have to, it comes with like oven instructions. Like everything's ready and it's like, all right. It's basically like, kids cuisine where it's like, all right, you take these 2 cups out, you put this in the oven for 40 minutes.
You pick up a like catered food that you have to heat up later.
Yeah, but like strict instructions. So put the big tray in for 40 minutes, and then after that you keep it in there, but you drop the second part of the tray in for 10, and the second part of the third part of the tray in for 5, and take it all out together. And now it's all cooked. Now it's all ready. And I don't even think it's 40. I think they total cook time's 30.
Well,
minutes,
let me do this then. So we'll curtail our wider discussion of the midterms then for a little bit and just talk about a couple specific races, lightning round style.
Yeah, well, let's do lightning round on all of this because there was two other things I wanted to talk about. Okay. First, migrant army is making its way from Honduras. You're going to hear about it in the news this week.
You've already been hearing about it if you listen to Fox News because apparently that's all they're talking about.
Yes.
Because they're also saying that like members of Al Qaeda have joined in their walking tour from the southern Mexican border.
Somebody from Bangladesh was spotted there. Not true. All this is not true, just so you know.
Also, this has happened a lot before, like where Central American countries have a lot of people who want to leave all at the same time for various reasons, and then they start making a march towards the United States and trying to seek asylum. It's happened during Clinton, happened during Bush, happened during Obama. Yeah. I think it's happened pretty much every 10 years or so.
Yep. So why is this one happening?
I didn't get the details on why it was happening.
Because in 2009, the Obama administration funded a right-leaning junta who overthrew the government in Honduras and who has now secured power and is basically attempting a genocide. I don't want to. Actually, that's not true. They probably aren't attempting a genocide.
They're really thinking about it.
They're really thinking about it, and there's like a lot of war crimes going on, and not really war crimes because there's not a war, but there's a lot. It's like not genocide because they're not killing them because they're different. They're just killing them basically to kill people.
Kind of like Papa Doc Duvalier.
Yeah, like we're all Haitian. Where I'm just gonna kill some of us.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kill the ones I don't like.
Yeah, basically that's it. So because we funded this dictator and put him in power, and now he's there in 2009. Now those people are fleeing and coming to the United States. This is what we call consequences, and I know that the current president is unaware of that situation.
Well, he never has. He never has any consequences for anything he does.
Yes.
So
well. It sucks. And over there, they walk like 25 miles a day. Can you imagine walking 25 miles a day in 90-degree heat? Like I can't. They're children and women
and they got like 1,000 miles to go.
Yeah, a long way. We'll be talking about this for a while.
Yeah, it's gonna if they make it to the United States border, of which probably maybe 100 will end up making it.
Yeah, some have already turned back.
Yeah, some will turn back, some will just die, some will get arrested or picked off or something like that.
Well, no, so apparently now the Mexican government pulled up some buses and said, hey, we have some medical people and some cots and you can come stay at the stadium, which may or may not have been funded by the United States. And guess what happens when they go into the stadium?
They get locked in cages?
They cannot leave the stadium. So it may or may not be okay in there. There's no reports because no reporters are allowed inside the stadium.
Yay.
So once they go in, they're in, reporters not allowed in, and no one's allowed to leave. So that sounds promising. And it may or may not be funded by the United States. So
I feel like there's not one reporter at CNN who speaks fluent Spanish and maybe they're like on the thinner side and they could look a little emancipated and like get in with the crowd and then just go into the...
Yeah, how do they get out?
Well, I know, but I'm saying like you find some intern who doesn't need to be into work every single day. And you're just like, hey, get locked up in a Mexican prison for a while and tell us what it's like.
For the next 6 months, I'd like you to go get locked up in this prison. And when you get out in 6 months, you can tell us what it's like inside.
We'll pay you handsomely. More than the nothing you're getting paid right now.
You might win a Pulitzer for it. Probably not. Probably the name of the guy who's on the report will win the Pulitzer, but you'd be
Ronan Farrow, who will eventually write your story,
yes.
is going to get the Pulitzer, but not you.
Yeah. So if those guys are lucky, whoever makes it to the American border won't be machine gunned by brown shirts because Trump made an interesting announcement at his rally today.
Of course he did.
Oh, wait, not his rally. Sorry. It was Lion Ted. Wait, no. We don't call him that anymore. Texas Ted.
Or Beautiful Ted, which is also the man they call beautiful.
So you might remember that over the past 18 months.
If you don't mind me, I got to put more water in Buck Nasty's mother's dish.
Over the last 18 months, Trump has insulted Ted Cruz's wife by calling her physically unattractive.
Yeah, ugly.
Ugly. He has said that he's intimated that Ted Cruz's father may or may not have been involved in JFK's assassination.
Yeah.
I think that he retweeted something about Ted Cruz being the Zodiac killer, despite the fact that we know that that's not possible.
I love that one. That's too good, though.
He called him Lion Ted. He said so many thousand things.
Also, before Ted Cruz's groveling, not too long ago, Trump had also said something about Ted Cruz not being from Texas and being from Canada, and I don't know why the people from Texas are voting for him.
Yes.
Which was like 2 months ago or something like that.
Well, come to find out, Trump shows up at a rally for Ted Cruz. And one of the first thing he said is
By the way, it's supposed to be at the biggest stadium they could find in Texas. Do you know where they ended up having this thing?
The Houston Astrodome.
Was it the Astrodome?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so that's a decently sized stadium, I guess.
I
wonder if it's filled to the gills.
Oh, it's not. I saw pictures from inside. It's not. They had some of the tarps down, which is the international sign where we can't fill the stadium up.
It's either a Donald Trump rally or it's a Oakland Raiders game.
Oh, by the way, did you see the stadium being built in Vegas?
Yeah.
Over on the left side?
Yeah.
That's going to be prime location.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. Walking distance from the Strip.
Sidebar on that. Did you hear about what's going on with the Raiders though?
That they're going to move to San Diego for a year?
So Oakland, and one of the great moves of go fuck yourself ever in the history of the world. The Raiders announced that they're moving to Vegas, not this coming season, but the following season. So 2020 season.
Yeah.
And they announced this before the 2018 season. And then apparently there was some sort of thing where the city of Alameda, where the Oakland Coliseum is, could get out of their deal at any point if the team decided to move.
Yeah.
So they're just like, all right, you're playing the 2018 season here, but not 2019. Go fuck yourself.
Sorry.
Go buy something else.
Bye.
So they might play in San Diego for a year.
Yeah.
They might play at UNLV for a year.
Now, don't they play at T-Mobile?
No.
What's at T-Mobile?
The Golden Knights.
That's right. It's
an
arena.
The WNBA team.
That's right. It's an arena.
And it couldn't be retrofit for football. I'm just telling you now, it's not that big.
Arena football.
Yeah, well, I mean, might as well. Every single time you come play a Raiders home game, it's arena football instead.
Yes.
It's like a DH.
Hey, Oakland goes to London for a season.
I actually heard that as an idea, too.
All the home games in London or all the home games in Mexico City.
There's also talk about like doing the Rose Bowl for a year or something like that for the Raiders.
Bringing them back to LA for a year.
So have three
teams in LA.
Yeah.
Not one team's worth of fan base, but 3 teams in LA.
Yeah.
Although, by the way, I think if they did retrofit the arena football team in Oakland or Oakland team to Las Vegas, the actually might be able to fill the stadium for the first time in the last
people would be excited.
Well, no. So the regular Oakland crowd, what they're not prepared for is what's going to happen when they actually move to Las Vegas. Because as the Golden Knights have shown us, Las Vegas will love their team and will come out in force. So whatever stadium size they built, I imagine it's going to be packed.
Yeah.
It might be like 96 Ravens, where they start doing shutouts or sellouts every single game.
Well, to be fair, the Ravens weren't like a sellout team until they built the arena.
Oh yeah, I mean
until they built the stadium. That's the thing. Like when the Ravens first came and they were playing in Memorial Stadium, I think there was a lot of people who were like, "I want to see it, but I don't really want to go to Memorial Stadium.
I don't want to have to deal with Memorial Stadium.
It's kind of old."
Yeah. Anyway, back to it.
Yeah.
What were you talking about?
Ted Cruz.
Yeah, Ted Cruz. Lion Ted, who's not Lion Ted, who's Texas Ted now. So after all of that insult that was levied on Ted Cruz now has to grovel at Trump's feet to get him to come to a rally. Do you know what the first thing that Trump said when he stepped out on stage was?
No, what?
He said, the man that Ted Cruz is running against is a liar. You think that the guy who's running against him is Beto Cruz. His name's not Beto, or not
Beto O'Rourke.
Beto O'Rourke. It's not Beto. His name is Robert Kelly O'Rourke. And he said this at a rally for Rafael
Theodore.
No, it's not Theodore. Something Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Like, Donald, and you just got to know that Cruz is backstage like, all right, I just got to get through this. I just got to get through this. Or he's backstage
don't talk to any media for the next week. Yeah. Reminder to self, don't talk to any media for the next week.
He's backstage going, Ted Cruz! Ted Cruz! Ted Cruz!
I heard my name!
So apparently it was a lot of rambling nonsense, but in this speech, he also said, you're hearing a lot about people being globalists. You know about this? You've heard about this before? Because Trump, by the way, I've learned, is basically a 90s comedian.
Yeah.
Where all for set of premise.
People say airline food's bad. You hear this? You ever been on
Have you heard about this? You heard about this? This is a thing? This is a thing that's what you're aware of? Yeah. Anyway, so after he berated globalist, which basically just means that you acknowledge that there is an international market that your words have an impact on.
Yeah.
He then said, but you don't have to worry about that for me. I'm not a globalist. I am a nationalist. To which there was a rousing round of applause.
Yeah.
Because I think some people assumed that the word white was somewhere right before that. Just inherently not.
Well, he doesn't have to say the white part. Clearly he's white. I mean...
or maybe some people just thought that he meant a different kind of nationalist because, nationalism.
Yeah. There's so many good versions of nationalism.
Yeah, that's a word that you don't really get unless, I don't know, it's 9/11. You don't really hear a lot of good nationalism. By the way, that wasn't good nationalism.
Or it's the Olympics.
No, that's not nationalism either.
No, but I'm saying if you're there might possibly be a way you could say it in like an Olympic context. Like,
Like, I'm proud of my nation, I guess.
The nationalism that the United States has shown during this Olympic Games has been something to see.
It doesn't make me feel good. I don't like the use
Oh,
of
I know
that
it's
word
not.
at all,
It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, like if I was just like, hey, can I borrow a fag? And you're just like, what? And I'm like, it's another word for a cigarette. You know what I meant. So it's like, why'd you have to say that word?
No, not comfortable with that.
You didn't have to throw that out there. You didn't have to act like you're being coy about that whole moment.
But yes, Trump called himself nationalist. We should all be worried about this. And one thing that we were discussing in a pre-show meeting, he's basically made the 2018 election a referendum on himself, which is not going to be good because that means that there's a bunch of crazies out there who probably don't like Ted Cruz. But if Ted Cruz is Trump's guy and this election is, would you say, if you see a Republican, just pretend it's me. I'm not on the ballot, but I'm on every ballot.
Right.
And all the crazies were like, I wouldn't come out and vote for Ted Cruz because he sucks, but
I won't vote for Dean Heller, but I vote for Trump again.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they come out and vote for Trump. So, or will they vote for the person instead of Trump?
Yeah.
That could be dangerous. I mean, how deep do you want to get into this election stuff? What did you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I figured we could just do a quick hit on some of the interesting races.
Okay, go ahead.
At least the ones to us. So
Yes.
let's start here.
Well, let's start with this. Don't vote. It doesn't really matter.
It does matter.
If it made any difference, they wouldn't let you do it. Thank you, Emma Goldman.
You know when you're going to really notice that is at some point, hopefully, God, I can only hope, is at some point we're going to go into an election and we're going to say, all right, so midterm election, usually we get about 40% of the people voting in this election nationally. No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
For this year.
Sure.
Like we're expecting 40% of the nation to vote in this election. So this is how we're figuring it's going to go and blah, 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 blah. The year where all of a sudden there's a huge jump in the number of people who vote, if it goes from like 40 to 60% one year and it's just like all of a sudden people are actually voting.
Yeah.
Then that's when the line of it's not going to, it doesn't matter who you vote for or anything like that is going to be especially true because they're going to realize that people start doing it and then they're going to stop that altogether.
Yeah. By the way, 40% turnout.
I mean, they're already stopping it in some cases right now,
but only for people that they don't like. That's the thing. They want white people to feel like they're part of the process because then that justifies everything that comes after this, like putting a rapist on the Supreme Court and having him making women second-class citizens, which is what the goal is. By the way, 4 of the 9 people on the Supreme Court think that women are second-class citizens. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Why is that?
Why do I disagree with the idea?
Do you agree that that is true? That 4 of the 9 people on the Supreme Court think that women are second-class citizens. Can they control every decision when it comes to their body?
No.
Can men?
Yes.
That makes them a second-class citizen.
Okay, that's a fine logic. I'm just saying, like...
And there are many other things, by the way. Abortion, not the only issue.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, if you were talking about it in that specific term, though, you could turn the phrasing around and make it seem like, like, did you know that 5 of the 9 justices are fine with murder?
I mean, apparently they are.
No, but I'm saying, like, if I was doing the right version of what you just said, I could say, like, did you know that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is personally okay with murder and she sits on the Supreme Court?
Is she okay with murder though? Does her record show that?
If she's okay with abortion being legal, then clearly she's, I'm again doing devil's advocate here. I'm just saying, like, the other version that's the problem is that, like, we're not having a civilized discussion of what abortion is. We're having our problem with, like, you think it's murder, other people think it's a medical procedure.
Okay, well, abortion aside, 4 out of 9 people on the Supreme Court, actually 5 out of 9 now, 4 out of 9, a woman's right to choose is 100% not her own. 5 out of 9 would have or did vote to overturn the Voting Rights Act. Actually, 6 out of 9. 6 out of 9 would have or did vote to overturn the Voting Rights Act, which means that they believe that black people are, well, all people of color really, but black people for the most part, are second-class citizens and don't deserve the protections of the right to vote. So here's the thing. Yes, are they scrubbing voter rolls? Are they taking people out of the way? Of course they are. Of course they are. Study any any fascism, any rise of fascism in any country at all, and you'll find the same thing. This same thing. It's about creating the other. It's about taking away rights from the other without taking away rights from the majority. Because it's not about them not voting. It's about you not voting. And as long as you still have a vote, you don't care about them not voting. And that doesn't mean that your vote means anything, because it doesn't. Because either right now you're voting for the far right party or the moderate right party. Neither one of them gives a shit about you. They give a lot of shits about the rich people who pay for their re-election campaigns and keep them in trips to Ireland for golf or trips to Saudi Arabia for whatever, or Dubai, or wherever they go, the tropics, all of these things. None of these things impact you at all. You, poor to middle class white person listening to the sound of my voice, voting does nothing for you because you're picking between a giant douche and a turd sandwich. Whether that's in California and we're picking between the Democrat turd and the Democrat douche, or whether you're in Maryland and you're picking between the Democrat douche and the Republican turd sandwich. I'm just saying, none of these things matter because realistically, none of them really care about you, first of all, because here's what I propose to you. Are they going to roll back the $3.2 trillion tax cut?
No.
Despite the fact that they could if they went back to the House.
They will do something. They won't roll back the whole thing. They'll make it hurt.
They will not make it hurt. They could have stopped it. They could have the Senate literally could have stopped it. They could have forced the nuclear option, but they didn't.
Right.
They didn't. They could have forced the nuclear option on all of these things, but they're picking and choosing their battles, which is why I said in the pre-show meeting, anything short of the Democrats taking back the House and the Senate is a loss. That's it. Trump will make it out to be a loss. Now, true, he'll make out everything to be a win.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
him.
even if the Democrats win every single seat and every single Senate race,
they can sweep everything. And he would still make it out to be a win for him.
These Republicans weren't Republican enough for the people.
Sure.
Just like me. I'm the one. If they were all like me, if there was 90 Donald Trumps, then we'd all win.
But mainstream media would still make that out to be a Democratic win. Democrats win the House and lose the Senate. It's a Democratic loss.
Trump says sky is green, and the media can't say he lied. They say, the Trump made a assertion today that the sky is green, and we here at CNN don't see where he got to that logic on that.
It's ridiculous.
Rather than just being like, he's lying about the sky. What the fuck else?
Yes.
What else do you need?
Election 2018 is essentially election 2016 part 2.
Yeah.
So major races, Beto versus Ted in Texas is a big one. Stacey Abrams running against the Secretary of State for governor of Georgia.
Who's purging the voter rolls.
Of people who would likely vote against him, which seems weird to me.
Wouldn't it be so funny if say LeBron James is injured?
Yeah.
Like the Lakers, he rolls his ankle or something like that. He's going to be out for 2 weeks. But every single time the Lakers play a game, LeBron James is one of the refs.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Just like, you know what? I actually think that was a foul right there. I'm gonna throw my yellow flag in it, and that's how basketball works.
Why does he have a yellow flag, right?
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah,
foul on the opposite team. Go Lakers.
Go Lakers. But yes, it seems unfair, and it is unfair. But again, this is why it doesn't matter, because we're all playing. This is, again, same as major sports. Let's look at politics. It's all theater. It's all made to make us think we had something to do with it, and we didn't. Hillary Clinton, for all her faults, won the popular vote by 3%. She's not the president. Because in the end, it's all political theater. And even if she was, by the way, I don't know that things would be that much different.
No.
Anthony Kennedy would still be on the Supreme Court.
Yes.
But he and Kavanaugh are not that much different.
We also probably would not spend nearly as much time going like, oh my God, do you hear what the fuck Hillary just said? Like,
yeah, we wouldn't do that, but we would have the exact opposite. We would have
Fox News would still be doing that.
Yes.
They'd be like, do you hear what she said?
Nothing would get done in Congress because they would just continue the blockade that they were doing of Obama.
They wouldn't. So. We would still have an open seat from Scalia.
Yep. Oh, we'd have 2 open seats. No. Yeah, because
Kennedy would just stay.
Kennedy would stay. Yeah.
I think Kennedy's not that old.
No, he sold his seat.
Oh, I know.
His son got money for his seat.
He's not that old that he couldn't have survived a a two-term Clinton presidency, hypothetically,
Yes, and he probably would have, just so he could sell his seat to whoever would come in after that.
Yeah.
But again, if you think voting matters, that's fine. So what else? We had Stacey Abrams in Georgia. We have Tennessee's Senate race.
You got Gilliam in Florida.
Gilliam in Florida, which, by the way, is way closer than I ever thought it would be with a black man running against a white man in Florida. Mm-hmm. Would not have expected that close, but it is.
And then super tight races in North Dakota, Nevada, Arizona.
Close race in California, but it's a Democrat versus a Democrat. But for our perspective, we would really like to see.
I'd really be interested in seeing. I think I know that there's not enough Republicans to sort of like make it up as much, even though there have been Republican governors in California.
Yeah,
and recently too. I still don't know if there's enough numbers to force the issue, but I think there's sort of a Hogan situation going on with Cox right now.
Well, Cox is a Republican.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So
I'm saying, like, it seems like Gavin Newsom just feels like this thing is being bestowed upon him.
Yeah.
And I see him out there. He's definitely doing things, but not like he's not doing the Jerry Brown or the
Antonio Brown.
Anthony Brown, where he's just like, I don't have to do anything until like a week before the election.
Yeah, he's out doing stuff.
But he's not like making me feel like he really wants this. He's not out there pounding shoe leather,
And John Cox, for what it's worth, the ads, I know that the ads are made to make you feel a certain way, but he has a really good team behind him.
Yeah.
And they're pounding the message of this happened on your watch.
And he's doing just as far as like politics, the theater of politics, he's doing a good job. Like he went down to Skid Row and he's like walking around trying to like help people.
Yep.
Like part of when a big win for Gilliam in Florida was him not going to like some event that he had scheduled because he was like cleaning up hurricane debris with like a chainsaw, and that like ended up on like
to a fundraiser.
Yeah, because he was out clearing neighborhoods with a chainsaw.
Yeah,
and that worked out well in the political
theater. Yeah.
Political theater game.
And how much more donations did he get because of that?
Than just going to the fundraiser. Yeah. And they probably still had the fundraiser. He just wasn't there.
Yep, of course. And then a bunch of people were like, well, we would love to have him here, but he's out clearing neighborhood. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, he's out there cleaning neighborhoods, but we brought Gloria Estefan to
I mean, would you...
I love Gloria Estefan.
Who was the Democratic governor? Is Chris backing him? No, Chris was a Republican. Was a Democrat, became a Republican.
Right.
Are there any other big Democrats? I mean, Janet Reno, she's dead. You could probably get a Clinton to show up there for him or something.
I don't know if it helps you that much, but
No, probably not a Clinton. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a tight race. But the Cox versus Gavin Newsom race here is going to be interesting, I think. Strange.
I just feel like I don't think there's not like a fervor for Cox. It's not like everyone's like. But that's a weird way to say it. It's not like everyone really wants Cox to win. It's just like they're.
I do feel like he's a Hogan though. Like he's moderate enough that Gavin Newsom doesn't seem that different from him. Newsom and Cox seem very similar.
Cox is doing this thing really smart too, where he's leaning into Trump when it makes sense.
Yeah.
But Trump is staying the fuck away from this one, just like with Hogan.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was somebody in the Republican.
No. Hogan has been very anti-Trump.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like I'm sure somebody in the Republican Party came to Trump and was just like, "Hey, listen,
stay the fuck out of this race.
You can go and make all the speeches you want. We want you to explicitly stay away from Hogan in Maryland, from Cox in California, from
he hasn't gone to Florida. He hasn't been in that. I don't know whether that helps him or not in the Florida race.
Yeah, I don't think it does. And anywhere where it doesn't help to have Trump, he's just going to avoid being there.
But I am the one thing that worries me about Cox is that he seems like a moderate, but at least Hogan's like vocally anti-Trump, and he has not been. But he's playing this game where he says, Gavin Newsom and I are the same person. We are basically both moderate conservatives.
Yeah.
Neoliberals. We're both neoliberals. I just admit that that's conservatism, and he doesn't. Oh, by the way, he's been in charge for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And what's he gotten done? I'm at least somebody new. I'm bringing new ideas. I'm bringing a fresh perspective. So
I'm a business leader, so you can trust me to be able to turn things around.
Yes. Yeah, you would think.
Because I know how business works.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I guess we'll see how that works out. But you can go vote if you want. I think it's a waste of time. I'm not voting.
Do you think you're in the camp that you think Hogan's going to win re-election?
Yes, I think it's going to be close, but I don't think Jealous is the one. I think Kevin Kamenetz was the only guy who had a snowball's chance in hell of actually beating Hogan, and his heart beat him. So unfortunately, what are you going to do? But yeah, I mean, that's what I take from it. I take from it that at least the Democrats in Maryland had someone to anoint, because they did, and he looked like he was conservative enough to get some Republicans and push Hogan to the right. But not so conservative that he pushed off the liberalness.
Yeah.
Hogan is so centered that he makes Jealous stuff seem very extreme left.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, Jealous is kind of like not Bernie level, but like kind of Bernie adjacent.
Yeah.
He's a starter. He's a starter Bernie.
But if you had a Trumper versus that, now you're just fighting over the middle. Yeah. But you have Hogan, who's center right, versus that. It makes it a tough race.
I mean, the problem is that when you have more centrist Republicans, it makes it harder for people to like vote against them.
Yeah.
Because they'll say something like, I think that, I feel like everyone should just sort of pay the same amount of taxes regardless of where you stand in the spectrum. But if you made more money, you would just pay more in taxes because you're paying the same percentage, but on a higher income. And then people go, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
It doesn't make sense.
No, but I'm saying like to regular old people, it makes sense.
Yeah, to stupid Americans, it makes a lot of sense.
To voters, it makes a lot of sense.
To dumb people, yes. This is why my vote, I would vote. And I think we talked about this back in 2016. I would vote. If my vote counted for 1,000 of, I don't know, the people who still think Kanye is important, if you give me 1,000 votes for every one of their votes, I'll go fucking vote.
That's the thing too. I've seen a lot of memes going around recently where it's like, a group of Nazis or Proud Boys or white supremacists or whatever you want to call them. And they're all like standing out like in the middle of a field or something like that. It's like, all 5 of these guys are voting. Are you? It's just like, good point. My vote is getting taken over by some white supremacist.
Yep.
But how many is about being able to cancel out a certain number of votes?
But I mean, that's
and then getting the lead.
What kind of democracy is
I get that. But I'm saying, like, listen, me and you both talked about the idea of having a basic, like, a test to decide how many votes, how important your vote is and stuff like that.
I would much rather have both John Cox and Gavin Newsom walk up to the Los Angeles River and have some mysterious woman bring a sword out of the river and hand to them. Because compared to that ridiculous system...
A, it's not deep enough for a sword. B, it's certainly not deep enough for a woman.
C, that's no way to bring about a government.
And D, she's probably dead.
Just a floating corpse.
With a sword in her hand.
Wait. She's floating to my side. That makes me governor.
She's getting stuck in the moss. What does that mean? Does that mean we got 6 more weeks of Jerry Brown? Is that what it is?
Yes, Jerry Brown's got to stick around.
Jerry's like running down the aqueduct like, I'm back in the lead.
All right. Anyway, so we'll follow up with more, get out the vote, but we've gone really long this week. So
yeah, we'll talk about it more over the next 3 weeks.
And by the way, get out the vote. I mean, don't go vote.
No, please vote.
Stay home.
Everyone vote. Don't
Unless
listen to Rob.
you're in one of 17 counties, it doesn't even matter. If you live in southwestern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, South Florida, then go vote. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter.
Everybody vote. Arizona, Nevada, North Dakota, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, California, all these places, Ohio, all these places have very tight votes. Wisconsin, y'all need to go out and vote. There's important things that can be done. Even if the person who is even if the Democratic candidate for governor of Wisconsin is not what you want, not the ideal candidate, guess what? He's not Scott Walker. Scott Walker, big fat dick face Scott Walker.
This is what I like.
Or he's not soon to be convicted felon Rick Snyder in Michigan.
I love voting against people instead of voting for something. This is amazing. Second suggestion, instead of dropping your ballot in the ballot box, drop a Molotov cocktail. Let's make democracy even again.
Don't do it at the ballot box though. That's just going to make it
invalidate the entire vote?
No, it's gonna make it so you have to go through like fucking metal detectors just to have the vague sense of safety for voting.
Good. So then the stupid people will stay home. The stupid people who are inconvenienced slightly will stay home.
You want those voters. If you're a Democrat, you want those voters.
I'm not a Democrat.
You want the people who make it. You want people being able to vote on the internet. If you're a Democrat,
that just says so much about this.
If you're a leftist, if you're a communist, if you're a Marxist, if you're a whatever you want to call yourself,
no.
What?
No. I want an educated populace. I want people to have the freedom, the day off to go vote.
Yeah.
How about that?
Right.
And I would like to give that to them.
You want more advantages to make people vote easier.
And I will give that to them as soon as they rise up, guillotine the current leaders, and install me as benevolent dictator for life. Not for life. Benevolent dictator for 2 decades. Give me 1 generation, 18 years, everything will be fine. And I promise you, I will give up power peacefully. We'll have free elections after the fact when I hit year 18.
When I hit year 18 and my son is now legally able to take over my throne, I will
free and fair elections.
I will abdicate it with no problem whatsoever.
Listen, it's the natural course of things. All republics eventually end and become benevolent dictatorships. Just call me Julius Robert.
Well,
wait, that's probably wrong. Wait, Robert Caesar? Yeah, that sounds better. Robertus Caesarus.
Robertus
Augustus. Actually, that's not too bad. Robertus Augustus?
Anyway, if you want more meaningless nonsense, you know where you can go.
Where's that?
Corey to OTheanthem.com. O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595. And you can find more of me at my website, CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com, at LegendCB5 on Twitter and Instagram, / Corey Baker Film on Facebook. And the review for A Star Is Born is out. Came out on Thursday, just as promised. A First Man review is coming out this Thursday. And then I'm going to go see a movie, I guess, sometime this week when it makes sense. And that review will be out the week after that.
All right.
I imagine...
Timely.
What's out?
I don't know.
We'll figure out something.
Oh, The Hate You Give. We should go see
Oh, yeah. I'm down. Yeah.
Okay. And, of course, you can find more of me at Robert N. Cheek on all your social networks, as you see right here. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com, where you can find links to my political blog, the news website, and the books, which are available on Amazon.
Buy Rod's books.
By the way, I got to get on getting a new book out, because it'll be the first year I haven't put a book out.
Yeah, we should figure out.
Well, I got to write it first. Yeah. So as soon as I write it, then we'll have it. But make sure you check that out. And of course, the chair is available on Wattpad. All right, maybe you should check that out, because maybe I'll pull it down from Wattpad and make you buy it after this. So that'll be my book for the year. So go ahead and check that out.
All right. Well, I think we've done good here today. Oh, Vegas is back.
Yeah, we're back in Vegas. We've done something. I don't know if it's good. But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
The man they call beautiful, Ted Cruz.
Can you imagine thinking that Ted Cruz is beautiful?
I can't. He's got a beautiful Ted.
Ted Cruz! Ted Cruz! Donald Trump!